Hello, Virtual Room 1133. Toffee Girl and I would like to tell you about important vocabulary words that you need to know for informational text. The very first one is summarization. And you just learned all about summaries, summarization, what the word meant with your extended word definition. So you guys are the experts now. But basically what's important about a summary is it mustn't be too short. It does need to have the important details in there. But it shouldn't be too long because it doesn't need everything. It just needs what really matters, what you need to know, the who, what, where, when, why. Toffee Girl, what's the next word they want to know? Retell. So retelling is a little different than summarizing because a retell is really telling the whole thing over again. In fiction, you could retell a story and then you could retell it from a different perspective. So I think you guys all know the version of the wolf's perspective of Little Red Riding Hood, for example, or the Three Little Pigs. So sometimes you'll see a story in one perspective and then the exact same story is told in a different perspective. That's still a retelling. A retelling is also when the same story is told in a different way, but the story stays the same. It's a retelling. You can retell fictional text too. Is that right, Toffee Girl? What was the other one, Toffee? Oh, says Toffee, they need to know what the central idea is. You sure do. Now in elementary school, you probably learned about the main idea. The main idea and the central idea are the same thing. I don't know. It's a middle school thing. I don't know what to tell you. Last but not least, I could tell you a story about Toffee Girl. So, you know when you eat too much of the wrong thing, you can end up with a tummy ache. So one day, Toffee Girl figured out that the figs on our fig tree taste delicious. And she would keep running up and saying she needed to go out, so we'd let her out because that's what you do when dogs say they need to go out. But what she was doing is she was sneaking to the fig tree. She ate so many figs, she ended up with a tummy ache. I can tell you that story so you can learn not to eat too much of the wrong food. It's an anecdote. An anecdote is whenever you use a real life true story as an example of something, or normally the funny or witty or amusing, not always, but it's a short true story that's going to give you an example and help you with an understanding of something. So these are the words you need to know. You need to know what a summary is. You need to know what a retelling is, or how to retell. You need to know how to find the central idea, and you need to know what an anecdote is. So now here's your task. Your task is to try and write a definition for each of them in your digital journal. You'll want to go to your next space in Unit 1, and you want to make sure you have a heading of important words, important vocabulary in informational text. Then you're going to write summary and you're going to define it. Then you're going to write central idea and you're going to define it. Then you're going to write retelling and you're going to define it. And then you are going to write anecdote and you're going to define it. And remember, Toffee Girl wants you to know those words, and so do I. And if you need more explanation because you can't remember what they are, look at the videos in It's Learning and they'll help you out. Remember, these words are really important when it comes to informational text. Mrs. Bryson, out.